So I'm here today to talk about some of the weird correlations that I've been noticing with a lot of these recent flips, and how I feel I can kind of predict who's gonna flip next, just by all these looks here. So starting off, first we got 2022 here with Ryan Sieg and Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton got underneath Ryan Sieg here in the New Hampshire crash in 2022 in the Xfinity Series. And then a week later, he goes onto his roof. Now, this ain't him flipping into him flipping, but it's kind of weird that in a similar way that he flipped over in a similar way that he kind of made Sieg in the air there. So let's smooth those real quick. Now here's the longest one that I've been noticing. So in the Talladega Spring Race for 2024 for the Cup Series, when we had that last lap wreck and Tyler Reddick won that race, I've noticed that these four, McDowell, Josh Berry, Corey LaJoie, and Reddick, were kind of cursed for the rest of the season here. Obviously, LaJoie flipping. And then LaJoie flips here at Michigan, and Tyler Reddick wins in that race. Next week later, the other guy that wrecked in that Talladega crash that got airborne flipped over at Talladega or at Daytona the next week. And then the guy who pretty much set the whole entire wreck off and wrecked from the lead, which was Michael McDowell, gets airborne pretty much as close as possible to flipping without flipping as you can get. In the same race as Berry flipped, and a week after LaJoie flipped, and then also the week after Reddick won the race that LaJoie flipped in. And then in the same year, I think it's like about 3 months later, maybe 2 months later, Reddick flips at Las Vegas and then wins Homestead the next week. So that it's weird. Now this ain't saying anything, but it's kind of weird to see these things kind of correlate with each other. So now we go on to the Nemechek and Zane Smith thing. Nemechek gets airborne at New Hampshire after hitting the wall, as you see here in this picture. And then he goes on the next week and makes Zane Smith wreck, as you see him off the screen, and Zane Smith flips over in that wreck. Which is actually the shortest correlation. That's why this is where I'm going to be going next after I deal with this. 2024, the last Xfinity / O'Reilly flip before Carson flipped over last weekend. He starts the crash, technically causes it, and Kyle C flips over, which kind of correlates to this a little bit over here, so maybe that's something to worry about. And then he flips on last Saturday at Kansas. 2 years overdue, but still flipped over after starting this wreck that causes a flip, and is the next person to flip in the series. And I've noticed that it seems like who causes it or got airborne in it seems like to kind of connect and leads it going again. Because even Carson kind of got airborne in his wreck down the backstretch while you saw obviously C flip over. So that's why I'm going to say that I'm kind of predicting either William Byron, Nemechek, or Ritzlap are going to flip over. Those are the three that I can say that are going to flip over soon. In my prediction of what I've been seeing throughout all these wrecks that are really correlated with each other.